Hello everyone, welcome. Welcome to this video, welcome to Virgo season. Happy solar return, all of you Virgos out there. Myself being one of them. Ooh, that Virgoan energy. It's a very powerful aspect of the zodiac, aspect of our year, just as every single sign is. We all have Virgo in our chart somewhere. One of the houses in your natal chart is Virgo. And it's really interesting, depending on the astrology you look at, Virgo is ruled by Chiron, that wounded healer, or it's ruled by Mercury, that communicator, the intellect. And it's really fascinating because this particular season brings in this embodied perfection of manifestation. So not just the idea, not just the concept and the seeds of it, but the actual growth of the manifestation for which you've been nurturing and nourishing. This is the season of the Virgin. And let's reframe what Virgin means. Virginal is that purity, that true innocence and purity. Now, when we look at Tantra, especially white Tantra, the spectrum of purity very much is looking at either the one end, which is the perversification of things. Now, we see this a lot in the world with sexuality, with ideals and ideas. When there is manipulation or when there is another hidden intention behind something, that's a perversification. That is a looking to do something without the connection above and below in the heart space. As above, so below, as within, so without, right? As in heaven, so on earth. So it's really interesting because when we look at the purity aspect, once again, these words can carry a little bit of stigma if we only look back a few hundred years. But the initial vibration of what that purity is, it means wholeness. It's a wholeness of being. It's an integration of shadow. It's an integration of shadow and light becoming one, becoming whole again. It is no more triangulation within the psyche or mental capacity for the spectrums that we are seeing create around ourselves. It is wholeness. It is birth, virginal birth, rebirth of yourself. Rebirth of yourself through your heart, through your womb, through the stars dropping down their wisdom, their codes of light, like rain glistening down in the most beautiful way into our being, nourishing the water of ourselves, of our cells in ourselves. Even though Virgo is obviously an earth sign, a mutable earth sign, there's this deep connection with water as well, for me anyway, which is why I have the background here with the blues and the greens, you know, and this sphere of this beautiful flower of life. Once again, coming back to the wholeness and the purity of things as they create. Now, when we are looking at Virgo as well, it highlights the real self. It brings into question integrity. It brings into question how many versions of us are there, out there. Are they all singing that same symphony? Virgo season, you know, we have Mercury that has just gone into retrograde. You now have 6 planets in retrograde. Mercury, once again, feeling very much at home, retrograding in Virgo, is going to bring a lot of that introspection as well. You've still got Venus retrograding too, so what a combination to have. The 2 closest planets to us and to the sun, both in retrograde. So what a powerful start to this season and a powerful end to August we are in for, really. But give yourself grace, humility, surrendering. Virgo season offers us that surrendering. It's the Hermit card. going within. It's the wise card, the wisdom, the old ones. The Virgo season offers that deep, deep healing, deep nourishment, deep wisdom, ancient mysteries. Throughout this season, the meditations that I'm going to be offering on Wednesdays, except for the next one because that's already posted or it's already scheduled in, but the following meditations and channelings are going to be offered from aspects of the goddess, of the great goddess, of the great mother, Sophianic mother, cosmic mother, and aspects of that such as Isis, right? Goddess Isis. There's a time right now of self-realization and also of releasing the perhaps magnetism to over-analyzing and over-mentalizing self. Remember, Virgo, before she was ruled by Mercury, she was ruled by Chiron, right? So you have this great merging here, but what is the use of a wounded healer who is only going to ever see their own wounds mirrored back? We want to bring the wisdom of Mercury, the resilience and the heart of Chiron together to birth into being through the virginal birth. Allowing yourself to see that imperfection creates perfection. Seeing that we can connect with one another through those imperfections and feel safe still. Virgo teaches us also to surrender in some ways, in a very different way to Leo season, which we've just been in. But Virgo can definitely teach us to be aware of the vibration that we are embodying. Being aware of where our boundaries are and where our own self-love is, because often we find so many of us, and this is a wounded healer, this is a Chiron thing, where we seek to heal because we do not wish to. It is uncomfortable to look at ourselves. So we project out. And that can go two ways. That can go as a projection, as in a negative projection, because what we see is a part of us. Or it can also go to over-offering, over-giving. And remember, Virgo, the feminine energy of Virgo as well, the feminine energy receives in its true polarity in nature. When we are over-giving, it is actually more about us than it is the other being. And that can be very much said for healing. So how can we be aware of what we are offering out? How can we be aware of just taking that extra moment? And the Hermit card in the tarot deck emphasizes this well for Virgo, because if we take that moment and allow extra space to meditate and go within, to become self-aware even more than we've been, even if it's just for 5 or 10 minutes a day, to connect with self, feel that alignment, then it allows us to recognize more and more through that self-observation where perhaps we've been giving of energy, of attention, of emotion, various things, we've been giving of them to a place of imbalance. For the healed Virgo, within all of our charts, the healed Virgo is smart, is quick-witted, is wise beyond their years, is healed and whole, and their vibration alone is healing. Now, it can be catalyzing as well, of course, because for those who are still on their healing journey in a specific aspect, because we are all always on a healing journey, no one is ever fully healed anything. The definition of being human is to have resistance, which causes our lights to be physical. Without the resistance, our light would be non-physical. We wouldn't need the body. And that's the beauty of this as well, is that the Virgo aspect in our charts can tend to be a little triggering. And that's not to say that you are triggering, no, not at all. The energy of Virgo can be triggering. And that's only simply because if whomever the recipient is of that beautiful sacred mirror, if there is something ready to be catalyzed on a higher level from the great mother father, but especially the great mother who is nurturing and looking after her children, she goes, it is time for that to release. Thank you. Thank you for serving one another in highest good. And what each being does with that energy is up to them. But the whole purpose of the self-observation that we are invited and encouraged to do in Virgo season is to turn that energy inward so that we can actually expedite our feeling of wholeness, expedite our ascension, if you want to use that word, expedite our awakening, expedite our self-illumination, our self-realization. Because whatever we are as within, so without. Virgo season will continue to offer us, especially at the start, especially in the first, up to maybe the first week of September, especially up to them. There will be an encouragement, a repetition almost, for things coming up outside of yourself to encourage you to look back within. Taking the people, the characters, the actors, everyone really is an actor, not intentionally so, but our higher selves, right? We are here playing the role and the character of the script that our higher self has written and our soul has written. So I share this with you because Virgo is incredibly detail oriented. Virgo is incredibly detail oriented. And if there is a pattern of an energy that is wanting to come into the heart, to become whole, to be welcomed in that perfect imperfection, so that you can find this embodied manifestation, the next level of DNA activation. It's going to be Virgo season, which offers that to you, especially with how we've had, Gemini, Cancer, and Leo. It's been a great run-up because it was with the Taurian season, as one of my astrologer friends shares. It's with the Taurian season that the manifestation is seeded, it's created, it's conspired and inspired. But it's by the time we get to Virgo that it actually embodies, affects its embodiment. So we are doing the snag list almost, going through the snag list. I'm very excited to share with you as well that, depending on when you watch this, of course, there are a few events coming up and a few services that are available again, because Virgo is also the time of that great service, a spiritual service, being of service and devotion to the one true heart, service and devotion to humanity, to one another, if we allow our egos to get out of the way, of course. But the service aspect is going to be highlighted and encouraged. And the more that we lean into our service, the more our vibration will rise naturally. Bearing in mind, it has to be balanced. It has to be balanced with the service to self-healing, to self-realization, to self-awareness. And hopefully the posts, the channelings, the videos that are going to go up this season, this month, are going to be helping you with that. One of the beings of light in the room just knocked something over. Oh gosh. But speaking of service, I am so excited to say that I will have once again live appointments, private Zoom appointments, one-to-ones, the soul contract acceleration appointments, which you all love so much. They're going to be available through September. They're available to book from today. So you can book them for September. You can purchase them now. I have once again available the 3-day remote star healings, the Pleiadian and the Arcturian healings available to hold you in that sphere of nourishment and of light, to help you integrate your key codes and expand through the heart. And I also have available once more the light language monadic attunements to bring in the next key codes for you, so that you can embody, be activated, and have that catalyzing effect within the cells of your DNA to move through you. Along with video readings as well, if you feel like you just have one little question that you could do with a channeled message from. Some events that are coming up which may sing to you also. Tomorrow, so the 25th of August, we have Softening to Love. That's an online workshop, 1 hour replay, of course. So if you can't make it live, don't worry about it. But that is an online workshop where we're going to be looking at the divine feminine aspect of our hearts, of our field of energy, and allowing the heart walls to soften so we can welcome in more love than ever before. On the 5th of September, with the beautiful and radiant Tim Wilde, we have Stepping Fully into Your Spiritual Service. Now we're going to be working with lots of very powerful energies here, the cosmic Mother Father, the oceanic cosmic Mother Father. We're going to be working with Poseidon, with Neptune. Obviously, we're in this Neptune retrograde, and Neptune is that planet of the higher spiritual warrior, the higher spiritual path. And on the 14th, with Emma Sullivan, we have Empowering the Empath. Sensitivity is your gift. If you feel that you have a sensitivity to people, to noise, to energies, to psychicness, we're going to be exploring why they are your superpowers. That's not an event to be missed. Make sure you get in on that one. And finally, in person on the 23rd, on the equinox, we have an equinox in-person event in Weymouth. If you're near the south, if you can get to the south of England, in the beautiful part of the world that is Weymouth, you'll join me and Tim and Melissa, Emma and Karen on our Soul Ascension Day. It's going to be absolutely stunning, beautiful, beautiful on the equinox as well. But for now, I'm going to close this video because my doorbell is about to ring. And I will see you all very soon. Bye for now.